I'm sorry. 50 years too late was her pregnancy. Oh,
Keep going.
I'm sorry. 50 years too late was her pregnancy. For if she would have menstruated at 4 and moaned at 5, I would have been a part of your legacy. To the pulpit for my people, straight from the potty. The back burner on your bosom, but I wasn't alive. I'm sorry. Apologizing to the kings, the X's and the Garveys, the Mandelas and the Marleys and the Gandhis. Out of diapers into your cipher, spitting songs to pacifiers, from crawling to lifting choirs. My fertilization served no purpose when I had came. You had retired. So feed me evolutionary infant male Similac stronger than Benadryl. Put self-confidence on my stroller, not rims. Place talent on my feet and not Tim's. Don't tell me stories of Humpty Dumpty, but of Humpty dedicated. Mother Goose who actually flew and in life elevated. Jack and Jill marching not just any hill, but Zion. And for Christmas, forget the toys. Give me back my gold, my steel, my iron, Sierra Leone's diamonds. I want Legos that build mentalities, hula hoops that round up adolescent fatalities. A G.I. Joe, Booker T, W.E. and Frederick Douglass, risking their lives on the right track, winning golden medals and nuggets. Harriet Tubman, Barbies, reparation for Canarsie, who shed more bread than subverted Senator McCarthy. Moet, Mary Jane, and Magnums, we've made our monarchy, divorced by our doubts, our dreams, we can't marry. 1957, forgetting Little Rock, the stepping stone for only 9 Negroes of omnipotence and excellence, being more than Columbine. We can name every sitcom, but know nothing of a sit-in. Strip polls and not poll taxes, bus boycotts with Edie Nixon. Santa Claus, but not Grandfather Claus. The alphabet with the 3 Ks. Yes, the Ku Klux Klan, but most importantly, Kunta Kwame, our 3 kingdoms, forever will they reign. Deprived of their linguistics, had not a chance to say never, while Rosa parked her rear on injustice. Maternal Earth inspired Mega Everest. For if Linda Brown was Linda White, would segregation be non-existent? Would seeing Leslie write freely be an untold fiction? Hungry for our freedom, they left Katrina in the kitchen. Sliced, cut, battered up, leftovers we are looking. Big Newtons and no longer Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale, Black Panthers gave us no reasons to stop shooting for the stars. Until Emmett Till's prayers went up to the sun, forcing us to be about washing our sins and join the march on Washington, to know that hope is not yet dead. Reminiscing on Fannie Lou's tunes, reciting Angelo and Giovanni's lines, memorizing Hurston and Hughes. Regretful am I for my toddler toes, yearning to stand but couldn't. Thankful for souls igniting the torch, individuals like Carter G. Woodson, too young to relive the past. Illuminate my presence in your party. So on my knees, I beg your forgiveness and announce to the world, I'm sorry. I'm no alcoholic, but no, the first step is admitting it. So yes, I am broken. Silence. And this voice is my evidence. This stage is my residence. Did you tell I messed up? Broken silence.
You gotta do it again looking with your eyes open. You can't do that with your eyes closed. Look deep into the camera.
This is so much, I didn't realize. Okay. Broken silence. I'm no alcoholic, but no, the first step is admitting it. So yes, I am broken. Silence. And this voice is my evidence. This stage is my residence. These words are your beverage and your minds are my leverage, because I'm trying to get inside as if you were my mother and I was Oedipus. For there too is much irony behind this iron curtain. Realizing that one must assume obligation before obliviously observing. Individuals deftly dance in dead air, becoming vulnerable to no value. So I feel like I owe me, I owe them, I owe you, like vowels giving light to sound. I am that tree in the forest falling. Do you hear me? Only if you stick around, only if you are listening, are you listening, and decide not to run. Because I'm only afraid of the beast that is in you, so can no cat get your tongue. Coruscating cerebrum, cerebellum of a preeminent posture, procreating with your medulla oblongata, tired of one-liners making me say, I gotcha. Claiming this be harmony, but never took us to an opera. Why fondle sweet words when we can fabricate vanilla? Impersonate on every instrumental instead of reviving the roots of a cappella. Awake our antennas, write so hard to our hands, engrave their own Indian hennas, soaked in adrenaline static. So even when he called me a dog, I knew I had a right to be dogmatic. I had to question after they said I was only to be seen, and question that scene until I excreted Socratic. Who, what, where, when, why was my demo? But they couldn't accept it, no, just too democratic. Because if you happen to experience a more elusive way of existing, then possibly this piece is just too demographic. Too many points you'll find you cannot graph it, but these bars be your exam before you can practice the law. That it is not okay to label amateurs lyricists just because they can dislocate their jaws, slap syllables into saliva for arrogant applause, because call this a criteria and alienate me an artist. I converse to confess, to conjure, to connect. I am a walking catharsis, ruining the reputation that to release is rocket science, but rather re-examining the repercussions of not resurrecting your silence.
3, 2.
I am African. Still sounds like a rhetorical question. Too deep of a quest and too coarse of a course. So of course at times I'm in denial. But while I was taught to cross my fingers, my father was taught to cross the Nile, worried about my rep while he wrestled reptiles, plastering pride, leaving no room for disaster. Yet I can still hear the ethnocentric laughter, dirty skin tinted darky booty scratcher, wishing to have scratched another lottery ticket. Ticked off for like ticks are sucking their teeth, and my ligaments disgrace and my lineage, for nowhere was I lucky. Age 5, I dream of trading places with my pink eyes. I would have to be what they called ugly, nasty, nappy hair from the naps I've taken. Nights I spent up asking God for another face, and too hard to face when you are your own shade. A complexion never lenient, only convenient for parades. 1 month holidays, 28th day, it's the 28th day, and now you're not bleeding. They've impregnated my psyche, side effects of bleaching, so I look like I belong in a cemetery. February, I am tangled. I sing the Star Bangled, but the closest I get are these bangles made in Bangladesh. I once believed I was made in China, for that was all that varnished my flesh. Forehead to feet, knees to neck, never dared to deliberately devolve and dress in a descriptive dashiki. But can sport a young rocking may dying and rocket on my pinky. Fuddled for have not fortified the fortress of my identity. Fully fatuous, I fashion the French's finest flimsy. Disregarding I derive from a costly continent, more than just a moronic woman, but a moving monument. Unable to assimilate, so don't try and stick me in like a societal syringe. I am a solid figure, hugging my horizons, just like my pyramids, piercing its physique with the sun. Perplexed about my pulsating palms, they've stolen my percussion, but in the mix of thieving my sticks, they've forgotten I still got my eardrum vibrating every vein, vowing to never go visionless. Substituting skeptic state of minds with sterling spirits, a song seated at the throne of one suffering, staring at a reality within, pushing past personal pigment, leaving my brain to be belligerent, proudly proclaiming, I am African. And I do not like any of that.